Joining us now is Dr. David Cunic. He's the CEO of UCS Advisors. David, always a pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks for having me today, Don. Always appreciate it.
Well, the last time you were on the show, we talked about federal legalization of marijuana. Chuck Schumer must have been watching the show, because he's basically floated his Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act. How does that change the cannabis industry?
Personally speaking, I don't think it's really going to change too much. They're trying to add too much language to the bill, and they're trying to add too much language for what they're proposing. And because the language that they're adding in is bringing in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and explosives. It's bringing in the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax Bureau. They're also including vaporizers for any type of additives, whether it's a natural flavor or not, banning them as well too. So there's too much language in this legislation that they're proposing, which is going to cause an issue.
So it's going to be debated for a long time, you're saying?
It is, and what's happening is that there are some theorists that really think that you cut the bill down, only pick certain segments of the legislation to go after by adding more and more to it, such as like the Government of the Accountability Office is added in here, as well as the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network is added in here. They're adding so much, as well as expunging criminal records. There's a lot they're trying to push through all at one time. And that's what's making, in my opinion, a lot of politicians saying, we're for this, but you're pushing a little too much in this agenda.
Well, in Washington, that's the way it usually goes. The name of the bill usually has not much to do with the final outcome.
No, exactly. And something there, talking with some of my colleagues that are in the vaporizer industry, they're all about, hey, let's get cannabis reclassified. Let's get cannabis so we can actually start to bank it. So why are we including anything about vaporizing and whether it's a natural flavor add or not into this legislation? Let that be a whole separate bill. Let that be other legislation. Don't try to force it into this. And by adding more layers of complexity, once again, it's going to leave the politicians in Washington debating for a long period of time.
So basically what we're seeing is more election year politics, so to speak.
I agree with you on that. And on top of that, too, there's a lot of people in the cannabis community that really feel the Biden administration could be a lot more proactive with regulating cannabis on a federal level.
So what are you telling your clients? I mean, you just never know what Washington's going to do. They could pass the bill day after tomorrow, for all we know, and then you have to your clients would have to hit the ground running.
So that's a great question. And what we're telling our clients is before investing in anything, make sure you really look at the books, see how much debt they really have. Also, take a look at if the company you're investing in is in just one state or multiple states, and stay strong. If we were to look at the cannabis industry just in the last 10 years, and Don, I've been on your show for almost 10 years, we've seen it change so much. And we're still seeing rules and regulations changing every quarter or even a few times a year. So we're still making progress. Just once again, it's taking longer than expected.
Well, there are 50 states at last count, and it's legal in about 40 or so states in some degree or another. So we're getting there slow but sure.
We are, and we're also starting to see the little man get cut out. We're starting to see social equity applicants getting cut out. They're not getting their fair share. So you're now starting to see the states respond saying, okay, we just don't want big corporations to take over this industry. We want to get back to that small business owner. We want to get back to the people that were incarcerated. We want to give back for the people, for the social equity applicants and clients, to really help them create a business in this cannabis community.
Well, it's interesting because the big tobacco companies own all the trademarks to the most popular names of cannabis products.
They do, and what's also interesting, how about 10 years ago, Big Tobacco was afraid to even walk around a cannabis trade show floor. Now they do have no problem. You see big pharma representatives walking around cannabis trade shows now, while a decade ago they didn't. Everyone wants to get into a degree, and that's why some of us will call, instead of the cannabis industry or the cannabis sector, we call it the cannabis economy, because it can be used for recreational, medicine, real estate, testing labs. It can be included in food. It can be included in beauty products as well too. It really is an economy overall.
Well, we'll be watching this very closely. Once again, Dr. David Cunic, UCS Advisors. David, thanks for your input.
Thanks for having me, Don.